What are some signs that you're unattractive? If you ever tried to make a self-deprecating joke and everyone is visibly uncomfortable. When you post a bikini pic and people congratulate you on your bravery. Guys in high school made a list of their female classmates and ranked them by attractiveness. I expected to be at the bottom, but I wasn't even in it. I had a coworker try to set me up with another coworker. It got back around to me that this girl said, "You must not think very highly of me if you are trying to set me up with him." Edit. Holy shit. I never expected this comment to get so much attention. If you guys like rejection stories, I have tons more. Someone gave me gold. I don't know what that means exactly, but thank you. So, a little more backstory. This was almost a decade ago in a large workplace, a hospital. I read a few comments which suggested that maybe she didn't like me because of my personality, and I don't think this was the case because we didn't know each other. We worked in completely different departments. I worked in materials management and she was a barista in the coffee shop. We didn't know each other. The friend who tried to set us up was a CNA who knew us both individually. This friend spoke English as a second language and I firmly believe there was no malicious intent. When she told me the barista's response, my friend didn't quite understand it exactly and there wasn't intention to hurt my feelings. When your bro's GF offers to hook you up with her single ugly friend, even though she has many other very attractive single friends. When people say you look like someone famous, and that famous person is not attractive. Two of the worst I got were Meatloaf, which ain't bad, the Judrocks, and Corey from Porn Stars, which made me reevaluate my life. One time in high school, these guys came up to me and a group of my friends of 5 girls. They asked us to introduce ourselves, and we started. Once he got to the girl beside me with 2 of us left to introduce, a guy said, "Y'all can stop here, we only need their names." Shattered my self-confidence. When you use Tinder for about a month, and it runs out of people to show you, and there's no matches, meaning everyone in a 10-mile radius with Tinder looked at your pic and thought nope. Also believe me, I didn't set my standards too high. Edit. I'm done with Tinder. I'm not looking for advice or tips. I've been at this for 3+ years and heard it all. I've decided to just delete the app and move on. Less a sign of unattractive than it is of being thoroughly average, but if other people seem to spontaneously forget that you exist the instant an attractive person enters the room, I'd say chances are that you're good looking enough to be an acceptable choice and to pay attention to normally, but not enough to compete with the obvious first choices. When incels don't think you owe them sex. Brutal. When every girl you're interested in tells you how sweet you are and that you'll make someone else so happy someday. When your grandma tells you what a handsome man you are. When a boy takes you on a date and it turns out to be a dare he was put up to by the other boys. I was a complete freaking joke in high school. I lost baby teeth extraordinarily late, so I was missing a ton of teeth. Had braces, hadn't developed yet, skin was flipping its stuff with hormones and stuff. I looked like hammered dog poo. So their idea to add insult to injury was to take me on a fake date to laugh at me. I was so hurt for the longest time. Then high school ended, I got to college and maturity hit me like a freaking bus. Went from flat to a C. Gained weight. I was scrawny. My teeth came in. And the braces came off. Skin calmed down. I'm 21 and I look like I just got into high school. So same boy came back, not realizing who I was when I was visiting home. Stood him up. No joke, stood his ass up. The opposite sex has never hit on you. On your social media your profile picture isn't a picture of you. Extra points if it's a cartoon/anime character. I don't think I'm especially unattractive, but I used to work with this woman who clearly thought I was. I remember once the topic of ugly people came up. I happened to be looking down, and she reached out and pulled up my chin, looked into my eyes and said, "But we know, is what's inside that counts." So I guess my answer is people making a point of playing up your personality and non-physical good qualities. My mom had to tie a pork chop around my neck so the dogs would play with me. When picking out a group picture nobody cares if you turned out well when they ask you to take the group photo. People don't spontaneously or enthusiastically take pictures of you. I have an acquaintance who is really gorgeous and photogenic. Most of her Facebook posts are her doing these spontaneous photo shoots with her friends, where they do all these yoga/dance poses, jokey model poses, just normal selfies, etc. People just want to take her picture. Another dude I know is also pretty good looking, like normal attractiveness, and looking through his pictures, people just take lots of random pictures of him being spontaneously goofy and funny. For people who are less attractive, taking pictures is more forced. You have to ask people if they can take a picture of you. People kinda reluctantly agree, but they want to get it over with. You won't have many pictures that capture spontaneous fun or goofing around because you had to stop and ask someone. It'll be a quick "hey, we are hanging out" selfie, but we also probably won't look at the picture together. I notice with the more attractive/photogenic people, not only are there more pictures, but people want to look through them and comment on how awesome they are. This probably doesn't apply to being unattractive, but more to being not that attractive. When they put in little effort, you might get them interested in a date, but it's low priority. If you're attractive, they'll make time. Not so attractive, it's like "May I have nothing to do on X day, why not?" When you're joking around with a friend insulting each other, and the friend calls you ugly, the rest of the group either jumps to your defense, gasps, or otherwise looks uncomfortable. Source: grew up somewhat ugly lol. When the girl sitting next to you in 6th grade Spanish literally turns away when the teacher tells you to work together. Then when she tells the teacher "I don't want to work with him," the teacher looks at you and says you can do this assignment by yourself. When your best friend has you stand on top of your house and yell "I'm ugly and I'm proud" for the whole world to hear. Also, if no one's BF/GF is ever even slightly jealous/suspicious of them hanging out with you. I get some people just don't get jealous, but if no one does, maybe you're just so ugly you're clearly not a threat. When the person you are with won't introduce you to their friends/family. Yes. When I used to be fat, I was dating this guy and he kept me under wraps. Other people found out about us and asked him about it. He claimed he was seeing lots of girls. Due to my low self-esteem, I stayed with him, even though he did deny my existence and always tried to get with other girls. When you're having a hypothetical conversation about dating or relationships and someone has to say "not that I'd ever date you," or they can't even have the conversation because they have to make it really clear that they wouldn't date you, to the point you forget what dating/relationship thing you were even talking about. It's really distracting because you don't want to date them and now you suddenly feel insulted for some reason. I'm not sure where I fall in the scale because I get mixed messages, but I used to be friends with a girl for a year and a half. I could make her smile and laugh every day and have hour-long conversations. She knew I was into her, but she was in a relationship already. Eventually she dumped him and she sent me a snap saying "guess who's single." I took the initiative because if that isn't the biggest hint ever, IDK what is? I asked her out and she said yes. It took a month to set up the date. She stood me up. Haven't talked since. Nice. Really helps too when the last chick I asked out stood me up too. Everything was go that day and I said, "Okay, so where do you want me to pick you up?" "My house," she said. She never told me where she lived before. Then 6 hours later she said, "Oops, sorry, I slept through my alarm." Yeah, her 4:30 PM alarm. You know how you have a nap before telling someone where you live. And before that I got cheated on just after my GF made it official and told everyone. HAA. Fun times. When there's only one seat left on the bus and it's next to you, yet the bus is full of people standing up. No matter how I look at it, it's you guys' fault I'm not popular. From my real life. When you are one of 10 women at a conference, and the other 9 are constantly having to fend off the attentions of 500 men, and they leave you alone. When you graduate from college only ever having had 3 dates the entire time. When your parents get your and your sister's portrait and silhouette done by an instant artist at a theme park, and they get them and take them home and leave the bag containing the drawings on top of the bookshelf where it cannot be reached for decades. only for you to find it when they've passed, and you look and see one normal looking young girl and one unattractive one, and recognize what you didn't 30 years earlier regarding why that art stayed in the bag on top of the bookshelf. When a good friend you've known for 4 years on the net finally meets you in person, and when he recognizes who you are, he involuntarily wrinkles his nose and jerks his head back for 2 seconds before smiling and greeting you. When an employer is all excited about talking to you on the phone for 6 to 7 phone interviews, and then things progress, and they do a video con interview, and you get thanks, but no thanks.